Have you ever been in bed with someone and felt like they were a sexual mind reader? Like they knew exactly what you wanted, when you wanted it, how you wanted it, without you needing to say anything at all? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you how to become that person to any lover, new or long-term. Even though this kind of sexual skill can feel like a magic superpower or the result of a 1 in 100 type of sexual compatibility, it's actually something you can learn. And it all comes down to understanding non-verbal cues. Non-verbal cues are something we all give. They can vary from obvious body language to small, almost imperceptible movements or changes in the body that signal specific desires. Knowing how to read what a woman isn't saying and then act on it will give her the impression that there is sexual telepathy between you. And this is something that all women, all people are really hoping for. The truth is, all of the information is readily available to you. It's just that most men are caught up in performing and wanting to give their partner the best sexual experience. They actually don't stop and look out for the signs that would allow them to do that. So let's dive right into the 10 practical body language tips that you can use tonight to make her feel like you are reading her mind. Tip number 10, mirror her movements. Mirroring is one of the most powerful ways to attune yourself to your partner during sex and actually outside of sex too. All you have to do is pay attention to her body language, her pace, her energy levels, and just meet her where she's at. Most women have been in a situation where they're looking for a tender, slower pace and are met with a little bit too much energy and excitement. By mirroring her, you can allow that buildup to happen organically and make sure you're not overwhelming her with a level of energy that she's not ready for yet. For example, if you notice that your partner slows down or softens their touch, you can take that as a cue to slow down as well. On the flip side, if she's arching her back or pulling you into her or pushing herself into you, then you know it's time to amp up the intensity because she's ready for more. Number 9, use your breath. Breathing is an often overlooked nonverbal cue. Our breath tells us so much about the state of our entire body, and being aware of your partner's breath can connect you deeply to their desires. Notice when her breath intensifies as you touch or pleasure her. If she starts to breathe heavy or gasp, it means that she's experiencing intense pleasure. But it may also, depending on that breath, indicate that she's feeling a little overwhelmed. If she's not breathing much at all, it could be a sign that she's not fully comfortable and present. If you notice changes in her breathing, it's a good moment to check in verbally or look out for other nonverbal cues that she may be sending to figure out what her needs are. Another incredible way to use breath is to match it, much like mirroring in the first tip. Matching the rhythm of your partner's breath can create an incredible sense of intimacy. There is nothing like breathing in sync with each other to make you feel like you are one. Number 8, notice micro adjustments. Small movements or shifts in body position, like moving her hips, squeezing her hand, can signal changes in comfort or desire. The simplest way to monitor movement is to put it into 3 different categories. Is she asking for more intensity? Is she signaling that she needs to pull back? Or is she trying to make a shift that is going to make things more comfortable for her so that she can keep going at the same pace? If she does anything like pull you in or push herself into you, that's a good indication that she wants more. Whereas if you notice her readjust herself or pull away, you can take that as a sign that you need to switch up the approach. And if you're confused, you can always ask. Number 7, match her energy. Don't try to push a wild, athletic sex session if she's giving off lazy, love-making vibes. If she's moving slow and gentle, that is her body telling you that she either needs some significant warm-up time or she's only got enough in the tank for a more relaxed, sensual experience. But if she picks up the pace or becomes more physical, you can respond by intensifying your own actions. Matching her energy shows that you are tuned into her arousal and are enjoying the moment as much as she is. But of course, it goes without saying that your energy levels are important too. If you don't want to up the intensity, that is something that you should honor. And don't be afraid to tell her exactly what kind of energy you want from her too. Number 6, use eye contact. The eyes are windows to the sex that we want. Yes, that's how that saying goes. Eye contact is very powerful in nonverbal communication. When you hold your lover's gaze, you can see in real time how they are responding to every movement and sensation. Holding eye contact is also a great signal that things are going well and your energies are matched. On the other hand, if you find that your partner seems to be avoiding eye contact during sex, it could signal that something is off or they aren't fully present. This might signal that it's a good time to check in. Now, a note on that, not all people are very practiced at holding eye contact. It can feel very intense, very vulnerable. It can bring up stuff from childhood or previous relationships. Like a lot of us struggle, a lot of humans struggle to maintain sustained eye contact. So just remember that this is a skill that you can practice, that your partner can practice, that you can practice together, you can practice with other folks as well. Maintaining eye contact is something that is so valuable in bed and outside of it. It will improve your entire life to be in deeper communication and connection with other people. Number 5, respond to her touch. How your partner touches you can provide important feedback about how she's feeling and what she wants. So if she touches you gently, you can respond with gentleness. If she pulls you closer, she grabs you, you can do the same. Often we touch people in the way that we want to be touched, almost to a fault. For example, if your partner runs their hands over your body with a soft touch, chances are they're doing that because they would like the same. They're touching you that way because that feels good to them. You might have to communicate to them, actually, that's not how I like to be touched, but I get that that is how you want to be touched. And then you can show them that you get it. Number 4, look out for muscle tension. Now, depending on the context, muscle tension can signal either discomfort or excitement. So every situation is different. This is where reading multiple nonverbal cues at once comes into play. For example, if you're in the throes of passion and your partner's pulling you in, and as you're thrusting, you feel her body tense up, well, this likely means that she's getting closer to orgasm. But if you are touching her and notice that she tenses up and pulls away at like a really light touch, it might mean that she's not feeling it, or that touch triggers something in her that her body is responding to. Generally, tensing up is a good thing when we are quite close to orgasm. There's multiple schools of thought on that, but that's like the simplest way to say it. So if you notice it at an earlier stage of a sexual encounter, it is good to check in or maybe try a different touch. Number 3, verbal and nonverbal check-ins. While reading nonverbal cues is important, don't forget the value of a gentle verbal check-in. A quick question like, does this feel good? How could we make this feel better? Will help to ensure that you are on the right track while giving your partner space to guide you without breaking the mood. Especially if you notice nonverbal cues that make you wonder if she's into it, it is always good to just make sure by being direct. And remember, sometimes it takes a while to fully learn the language of your partner, especially their body. A bit of talking will always be necessary to make sure that you are on the same page. Don't take her feedback personally. What a person likes and doesn't like in bed has nothing to do with you. It's got a whole lot to do with them. Number 2, look out for pauses. If you notice a stop, a pause, a moment of stillness, that could be a nonverbal cue that something is up. If your partner stops moving, they've likely been taken out of the moment. Now, maybe they heard a noise, maybe they had some pain, maybe something else. When this happens, some men are tempted to just keep moving. Maybe, you're afraid that you're gonna lose your erection or that you're gonna ejaculate too soon or something else related to performance, but this isn't the move. If you notice stillness in your partner, it's time for you to match that. Pause and check in with them. Ask them directly what's going on. Offer a nonverbal check-in, like moving her face to get some eye contact, a soft touch, a kiss. Maybe she just suddenly remembered that she has a big meeting tomorrow, or that she left the clothes in the dryer, or maybe her leg is cramping. We won't know until we ask. Which brings me to number 1, pay attention to sounds. At last, the noises we make can be considered nonverbal cues. Moans, sighs, purrs, breathy, non-wordy words are all auditory cues that give you real-time feedback on what's going on for her. So pay attention to the sounds that she's making and let them guide you towards more or less intensity. And if you notice a sudden stop or shift in her sounds, it might mean that it's time to change it up and try something new, but it also could mean a lot of things. As you learned from this list, you've got to put all of these together to decode what those nonverbal cues are attempting to communicate. It is all an ongoing experiment, so feel free to try different things and see what different results you get. So I have a challenge for you. The next time that you are in bed with someone, try to tune into all of their nonverbal cues, mirror their body language, match their breathing, tune into their energy, slow things down and pay attention to the details, because this is what separates the good lovers from the great. And the more that you tap into what their body is telling you, the more deeply connected and satisfying your sexual experience is going to be. By mastering these techniques, you're not just improving your performance, you are actually building a stronger and more intimate bond that both you and your partner will feel after you've left the bedroom. I'm Caitlin V. I'd like to get to 1 million subscribers before the end of this year. Please subscribe to this channel. Leave me a comment on anything related to non-verbal cues or what other content you would like to see from me, and I will see you here next time. Bye.